Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about how to centrally design email signatures for iPhones, Androids, and Blackberries, as well as any iNotes clients that you might have out in the field. We appreciate your time. We know it's precious, so we do try to keep these webinars as concise as possible. Just a reminder that if you have any questions, we will have a question and answer section at the end of the webinar. We can also do that via audio, so if you have a question, just raise your hand and I will unmute your microphone. If you prefer to ask directly to the presenters or the panelists, you can ask your question directly and everyone can hear, and we can have audio responses versus typing in text. If you don't have a microphone, you can simply type in your question and then I will read it and then have the panelists respond. So again, thank you. One of the reasons why we had this webinar today is simply because, you know, back in the days it was all BlackBerry. Now we've got iPhones, smartphones, any type of phone that can send email. Everybody wants to have it in our corporate email structure, and that causes a problem when it comes to branding and compliance. We need to make sure that we have the same logo, make sure it's the same size, we have the disclaimers right, and that you know, if we're in a regulated industry, that we need to have certain verbiage available to us. And as we all know, very limited on what we can do back into the smart devices themselves, and it opens up a whole new genre of management of these mobile devices that, you know, as dominant administrators, oftentimes they look at us, management looks at us and says, hey, can't you control the world? And oftentimes we can, but sometimes when it comes to these smartphones, it's a little more difficult. So what happens is we're looking for a perfect world in this compliance for our email signatures and disclaimers. And ideally, in a perfect world, we'd have everything look the same, no matter where it came from, and that we'd also have the ability to just have this happen without relying on the user's actions. So what about these mobile devices? We have the three popular ones, of course, but we also have iNotes. Policies, the dominant policies, it's an okay start, to be honest with you, and we all know this, that we have limited control of what we can actually do. Yes, we can put disclaimers out there. We do have a little more flexibility with those. But when it comes to needing the ability to do conditional disclaimers or having formatting set just right in the layouts, it's just not there. It's not possible. You know, as an example here, we can have a disclaimer in our policy. We can apply it to a group, but you know, when it comes to having multiple groups or larger groups, and we have specific needs, it's kind of a one size has to fit all, and it's just not quite there. So what are the options? You know, we have these mobile phones that obviously we can't control. If any of you are using an iPhone, when you come in to set your signature, you get text. There's no management tool from a corporate standpoint that can push the proper signatures down into the signature setting for the phone. Same thing with the Android. I even have an Android phone, and my service keeps resetting my signature because they want to brand themselves, and so, you know, obviously I'm going to be rooting my phone soon. So those are some of the issues we have to deal with when it comes to the mobile phones. There's just no way to really manage each of the phones, and ideally what we want to avoid is these, you know, the sample of a standard mobile signature where it's like, hey, great, sounds good, and sent with my iPhone, or sent with good, or sent from my BlackBerry. And yeah, sometimes in the BlackBerries we can get, you know, decent signatures set up, but they are text. Disclaimers are still an issue. So it's not quite the way we want it to do. What we want is that any email, whether it's coming from our notes clients or from our iNotes, and especially from our mobile phones, that it looks like a signature should. Has our logo in there, has the disclaimer in there. For sales teams, we want sales banners in there. So if we want it to look like that, how do we get that to work in our mobile phones? And currently there's not a way from an out-of-the-box Domino facility to do this. So I've actually invited Crossware from all the way from New Zealand, and it's already Friday their time, and they got up awfully early to show us how they can actually very simply have all signatures coming from our mobile devices, whether it's an iPhone, a BlackBerry, or Android, or an iNotes client. We'll have those nice looking signatures, and it'll be perfect every time in exactly the way we want it, the way management wants it, the way marketing wants it, and the way legal wants it. So I'm going to turn the time over to David Spence and Paul Graham. They're going to show us how easy it is for their tool to set up a signature and actually have the mobile devices, any emails coming from those mobile devices, get the right signature before it gets sent to the user. So I'm going to change the presenter now over to David. David, the floor is all yours, and then after David has shown us the demonstration, then we will open up the time for questions and answers.
Hello there. This is Paul Graham, and we've got David Spence here. Hello. Thanks for taking the time out to join us on this meeting today. The first thing we're going to show you is just the demonstration in the Lotus Notes client and show you how our software manages signatures. So first of all, we're going to compose a new email, and we're going to send a message to ourselves just to show you the functionality. And you'll note at the bottom of the screen there's no signature currently present. Okay, now we're going to send the message, and you'll note that when we see the message appear in our inbox, it's actually now got a signature appended. So we've got the username being David Test and the job title of Marketing Manager, and we've got a phone and address details. So the reason that's been appended is that we've got a product called Crossware Mail Signature, which is a server-based add-on, and it's works a little bit like an antivirus solution in that as email messages enter mail.box on the server, just prior to the router sending the message, we actually grab the email, grab the appropriate signature to use for that specific user, and we actually insert it into the system, into the message. The message is then delivered, and you'll see the signature. So if we show you how the configuration is done, it's basically a configuration per Domino group. So you'll see there we've got a group called Signature Users. Can also be varied based on OUs, or it can be tailored to specific users. So the idea is you can actually manage multiple signatures, and these signatures can pertain to different groups within your organization. So as long as you can create an address book group, or you can identify those users by OU, you can have various different signatures for different departments in your organization. So if you click on the field help there, you'll actually see the different options we've got. So we've got an address book group, a full username, or we support wildcards. Now, the two blue lines you see on the screen there are actually where the signature is created. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually just overwrite this signature, and we're going to create a new one for a company called Pizza Pizza. So we've got here just a quick text file which has got the address, the company name. We've actually got a Facebook link, and we've got a website link, and we've been asked by the marketing team to create a new signature for this organization. So what we want to do is actually paste that information in, and then we're going to do a bit of formatting on that, and we also want to put in the logo, and then our brief is to actually make sure that this works for the mobile devices. So we've got an Android running here, and we're going to just do a quick email on an Android and sort of show you how it works. So first of all, we've just inserted the logo. We've also got there the URL for the website. So what we can do is actually put a link on that. So just using the create hotspot functionality, we create a link. Okay, and then we've got a link here for their Facebook page, which we'd like to include as well. The other thing we'd like to do is we want to include some more information. So you'll see there's some merge fields there, which are the fields that have got little parentheses and exclamation marks around them. What we'd actually like to do is insert an email address, and then I've also got the request to make that email address clickable. So we click the Insert Lookup field, select the internet address, and then we can do something very clever here and actually create a hotspot. And we've pasted in the INET address as the lookup, so what it will do is dynamically create a link that varies based on different users. So in a moment we'll actually take you to the configuration screen so you can see how these lookups are derived. So you can see that we've got first name, last name, position, and those fields are actually pulled directly from the Domino directory. They can also pull information from other sources, so we can use any Domino database that you might have. We can also use LDAP. So when you install the product, we actually provide it with a series of predefined lookups. So for example, this one here is for company name, and you'll see that it's actually going to your names NSF database using the $user view, and it's just using the lookup call from, and it's returning the value of the field that's called company name on the Domino form. So these are configurable, so users can do individual signatures. You can do customized ones. You can actually put app formulas in, so if you've got something clever that you're trying to achieve that requires a special formula, you can do that as well. You can see here we've got an example which is a mobile field. Now often you get a signature where the user's got a text string that says, mobile and then colon. Now you might have a situation where some users in your company don't have a mobile phone number. So in those cases you wouldn't want the actual prefix text to appear in the signature. You don't want to have mobile colon and then no number. So in that situation we use a formula which is clever enough to actually check whether that value is set or not, and in the event that the mobile field is actually empty, then we display nothing in the signature. So we've made the change to our signature, and what we're going to do now is just do a quick test and show you what comes through. So we just received our email. You can see there that we've already got a signature. We've got a hotspot link there that goes to our email address. We've got the website address, and we've actually got a link to the Facebook page. So all of that's all being pulled through automatically. Yeah, very straightforward. So we're going to now go and show you this working on an Android. So we've installed a copy of Notes Traveler on this Android here. And if we just open up the one that we just created, you can see what the email looks like. And if we scroll down, you'll see the logo. Okay, we've got to download the images, of course. There we go. So, regardless of device, the signature looks really nice. But the real advantage is obviously we can now create a new email. And again, just like the Notes client, you'll see there's no signature appearing, although we've got the text that says "Sent from Lotus Traveler." And if we press the send button, there we go, an email done on an Android, got a full signature, got the links all set, and the graphics. So the great thing here is that you can define this signature and it can apply to multiple users in your organization. So you can see that we've put that together in about 2 minutes. We can also support things like fonts, so I'll just get David to make those links. We'll do them in red and bold, and we'll change the font to be Arial. Okay, and now we're just going to save our change now, and we'll do another quick test, and you'll see, instantly that change has now taken effect. There we go. Now we could show, working on an iPhone, but it's the same functionality across all clients. So because this is a server-based application, it's not client-specific. So it works on any device that can send email. It can also work on things like if you've got customized databases that use agents or app formulas that send out automated email messages. Again, you can actually append your signatures to those. The other area that we cover is calendar appointments. So a lot of organizations have legal requirements, so they've got to put certain disclaimers on emails. Quite often when people compose a calendar entry, they're actually attaching confidential information. Now really you should be having your disclaimer on the footer of those as well. So this tool actually will cater for that as well. So it will put the same logo, signature and disclaimer information on the footers of all emails. Any questions, anybody?
Okay, we do have a question, one question in already. And he's asking, is this multi-threaded or are all messages handled one at a time?
The emails are appended on the server threads. So when it's actually as the email is being sent to the server. So if your server's got 100 worker threads, then this works across all 100 worker threads for email delivery.
Okay, perfect. Another question. So this doesn't actually place text or logos into the mobile devices. This is all done at the server level?
That's correct. So we're basically removing the need to maintain anything on the devices. And again, the benefit there is there's no software to download or anything to install. There's nothing to be installed on the Notes workstations. No changes to iNotes, no changes to mail templates. So the idea is it's a single install on the server, and then no other changes needed to the rest of your environment. So you can see here we're just using a standard mail template. No changes necessary.
Okay, perfect. One more question already queued up. We have a BES server that routes directly to the SMTP router. How can we apply signatures using this tool?
You can install the signature application on your BES server, or you can install, if it's a Domino SMTP gateway, it can be installed on the gateway. As long as the email is routed through a server with our application installed, it will get a signature applied.
All right, perfect. Thank you, David. If anyone else has a question, if you'd like to ask directly to David or Paul, go ahead and just raise your hand, and I can unmute your mic, and or if you want to type in a question, you go ahead and just type in a question. Go ahead and ask them. Paul, generally, I know from companies that I've dealt with before, they have multiple devices. Is there any gotchas for any particular device? I mean, do iPhones work better? Do you have anything special you have to do for an iPhone versus a BlackBerry?
No, I mean it works seamlessly on BlackBerry, iPhone, Windows Mobile. Works with even older products like Common Time that people were using to synchronize Windows Mobile. So no, just works on all of them.
Excellent. Okay. And what about scalability? I mean, I think that's kind of what the first question was talking about, but asking, how far can you scale this? Does it support 500 users, 5,000 users?
We've got customers with an excess of 50,000 using the product. It actually works on all supported Domino server platforms. So we support AIX, iSeries, Windows, Linux, Solaris. So we've basically created support for all of those, and from the ground up it's been designed to work in a multi-server environment. So if you've actually got mail that might be routed through several Domino servers, our tool will actually detect that the first server has actually already appended a signature, and then subsequent servers will actually just deliver the message without actually changing it. So it can also support clustered server environments. So yeah, pretty much anything that you are likely to see, we support.
Okay, perfect. Which versions of Domino are supported? I know you mentioned all platforms, AIX, Windows, etc., but which actual versions of Domino are supported?
6 and above.
6X and above, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect, that was a great question. I'm scrolling down the attendees list here, seeing if there are additional questions. Okay, I think we may be covering all the questions already. That's good. It is again straightforward solution there, and is it priced by user or by server?
We price on a per user basis.
Okay.
So I think you're going to put up our email address at the end, but if anyone's sort of got a price inquiry, just feel free to send us an email with a number of users, and we'll send you a quote back. It's affordable, so we've actually got the smallest license bracket being for a 25-user organization, so we sort of price it from very small companies up to very large, so it's quite cost effective.
Yep, perfect. I'm scrolling one more time here to make sure I haven't. iNotes, is it fully supported?
Yes, it is. We can actually show you. We'll just try and launch an iNotes client for you.
Okay. While you're launching that, I'll ask a additional question here. Would this override a current signature that a user has set up?
Yes, it can work in two ways. So first of all, it doesn't override by default. So we have some organizations where they want to give the user some flexibility to put some information in. So they'll use a combination of the signature that's inside the mail file and our signature product, which will basically append underneath that signature that's added as you compose an email. If the organization decides, okay, we're going to actually disable those standard signatures and we're just going to use the server-based one, we actually give you a Domino console command, so you can actually type into a command to disable the signatures for a group of users. Okay, so we're going to send an email here. And, for example, go back to our notes client. There we go. So same signature, just different places created.
Exactly. Perfect.
I mean, installation of the product takes around 15 minutes, and configuration, if you're just going for something simple like this, you know, it can be as little as 5 minutes. Yeah, very straightforward.
And from my understanding, it works immediately. I mean, as soon as it's set up, the next signature, that their email that comes through the server is now appended with the signature.
That's right. And if you're wanting to install a trial, what you can do is just create a trial group and add 1 or 2 users. Put yourself into that group, and then it will just, you know, just control the signatures for those 2 users. The rest of the users in your organization, their emails will just be treated as normal. You know, the users won't be aware that we've actually made this change. When you're ready to actually roll it out, then you widen the group to the whole organization, and then run the console command, which will actually disable the existing signatures.
Sounds simple enough. All right. I think I've got all the questions. This is the last call for questions. We were at our 30 minutes. We try to keep everything very concise. Again, just a reminder that they do offer a trial version that you can set up and install. And checking one last time here. Does installation require a server restart?
During the initial installation will require a server restart to load the application, yes.
But that would be a complete server restart or just the Domino server itself?
Just the Domino server.
And when you actually perform the installation, the last prompt will be, do you want to restart the server? So you can actually, during work hours, you could, for example, install the product and then just say no to that one. And then when you do your next scheduled restart of the server, the program will load.
Well, many Domino administrators are there after hours, so they could restart then as well.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly. Well, unfortunately, that's our life as Domino administrators. Okay, perfect. Well, I think we have all the questions covered now. I don't see any additional questions in the queue. David and Paul, we thank you very much. I'm going to change back over and show my screen here. And you can see their website is crossware.co.nz. After the webinar, an email will be sent out to you with a direct link to their registration page to get a demo copy, 2 or 3 questions, and then you'll be able to download the file, and a temporary license key would be emailed to you. You can email Paul at crossware.co.nz with any pricing questions, or if you feel more comfortable sending me an email, I can certainly assist you. But again, probably best to deal direct with Paul. And again, thank you for everyone for joining us today. Paul and David, thank you. Next week we will have another webinar, and we'll send out the invitations for the next one. And just a reminder, a few events coming up, PACLUG and the Admin/Developer 2011 show in Las Vegas in June, IMLUG and MWLUG, which is the Midwest User Group, in August. So start looking for those, put on your calendars for actual live events, and support those local user groups. Thank you again, everyone, and thank you especially to Crossware for showing us how easy it is to make sure our signatures coming from mobile devices are perfect.
Thank you.